Actually, we have Colonel Lysenko with latest information. You have the floor, Mr. Lysenko. Good afternoon, esteemed colleagues. On September 17, within the framework of his working visit to Canada, the Petro Poroshenko, president of Ukraine, took part in the joint meeting of the Chamber of Commons and the Senate of Parliament of Canada, and had a meeting with Stephen Harper, Prime Minister of Canada, and Governor General of Canada, David Johnston, and management of the Congress of Ukrainians, Canadians, and the World Congress of Ukrainians. During his speech, speaking of this joint meeting of both chambers of the Parliament of Canada, Petro Poroshenko actually thanked the governmental officers and the Ukrainians for the all-round support of Ukraine. I thank the Canadian government, opposition, members of parliament, and senators, all the Canadians and our colleague Ukrainians for the unswerving and very sensible position, for the financial aid, technical assistance in providing the non-lethal military assistance for their support and the international fora, and such as United Nations, NATO, G7. During this working visit, the President of Ukraine, they completed the procedure of concluding the treaty or agreement for providing by the Canadian government special assistance to the tune and loan guarantees to the tune of $200 million Canadian dollars. During his meeting with the Prime Minister of Canada, Stephen Harper, he highly appreciated the assistance given by Canada in promotion and strengthening of the defense capability of Ukraine and allocation by Canada financial resources to implement the initiatives of NATO and further perfection of the system of logistics and organization of armed forces of Ukraine. Also, Canada plans to give to issue a loan to Ukraine to the tune of $200 million. Also, President of Ukraine Petro Poroshenko, during his meeting with the Governor General David Johnston, discussed the issues of political support, economic assistance to be given or rendered by Canada to Ukraine, and the post-war renovation and restoration of Donetsk and Lugansk regions. Today we are official visit to the United States. We'll start. We are talking about the President of Ukraine visit to the United States, and which makes provision for his meeting with President of the United States, Barack Obama. He is going to meet also with the Speaker of the Senate, the Chamber of Representatives, John Baker, Vice President Joseph Biden, and the State Secretary John Kerry. Speaking about the situation in the ATO region and the east of Ukraine, our militaries actually perform or fulfill the order about the fire cessation regime. At the same time, terrorists continue their firing, and they fired the different positions of the ATO forces. And during the last day, they fired in the Donetsk region at such settlements as Pisky, Krasnogorivka, Marinka, Alexandrivka, Mikhailivka, Tanenka, Maloorga, Karlova, Ivanivka, Nizhnikrinka, Centralny, Granitny, etc. In Lugansk region, Girsky, Zolotaya, Orехova, Chernukina, Stanitsa, Luganska, Severodonetsk, and the city of Shastya. Because of this mass-scale firing by the terrorists of Shastya town, this actually is tantamount to the military or the war crime. Terrorists and the Russian military continue to fire from the automatic and artillery weapons the airport in Donetsk, in the suburbs of which they already ruined a lot of residential buildings. In particular, during the last day, our units actually repulsed one of the attack and fixed 4 firing situations. One employee of the Yeah, the emergency committee actually was killed, and they wounded three military servicemen in Ukraine. They regroup. I mean, talking about the separatists, they regroup their subunits near near the Balsova in the Donetsk region, and they actually develop strengthen their positions at the approaching regions to Vashivka and central Lugansk regions. According to operational information, all those who are located in the northern part of the occupied Crimea, I'm talking about the military subdivisions of the Russian Federation, and we are talking about 4,000 fighters. From the Armянsk, Krasnoperекopsk, Voinske, Azov, and Azov, they were redistributed to administrative border. The official NATO representative Anna Lagescu stated that the Russia intended to develop the one of the groupings of Russian military units in the Crimea Peninsula. The Russians continued their active air reconnaissance, etc. In the years, the Ukrainian border guards prevented the attempt of the illegal export of the armament and ammunition from the area of ATO. During the inspection of the vehicle, they found 14 grenades F1, one grenade targeted 5, and 5 blocks of cartridges, etc. In Lugansk region, because of the fighting activities, about 172,000 consumers were actually didn't have the gas supply in 27 populated areas. They restored the gas supply in 128.6 thousand. The heat power plant doesn't work in Lugansk now. Again, there are some problems with the gas supply in Donetsk. We're talking about 5 multi-story buildings and about 1,200 thousand consumers, etc. And the 19th of September, you were talking about the treatment of the potable water, intake of which is provided in the river Siversky Donetsk, and they have to do that because the filtering station of the Lugansk Voda, they are deprived of the liquid chlorine, and there is the abrupt deterioration of the central epidemiological situation in the Lugansk region, and the potable water is not supplied to many settlements there. At the blog post in Alexander Severtemsk District Council of Lugansk, the fighters of LNR actually captured 4 professors of Lugansk State University, and yesterday they also relieved the LNR, the so-called LNR, relieved from the custody the deputy city mayor Golovnev. According to operational information, the terrorists of DNR plan to maintain and repair the damaged armored vehicles used in Vaska machine building 8. The military servicemen of the State Special Service of Transport of Ministry of Infrastructure of Ukraine strengthened the air defense borders and the positions of the armed forces in Donbass. The military servicemen of the same service, they tried to provide trenches and the armored structures, try to provide shelters for the military equipment and the personnel of the Ukrainian army. All in all, every third of the military servicemen of this service is involved in this effort. We are talking about 70 units of their own military equipment and about 120 military relevant persons. France, together with the international partners, they did not recognize the illegal annexation of Crimea, and that's why the so-called local elections in Crimea are illegitimate and illegal. The chairman of the Committee of the Foreign Relations of the Senate of the United States, Robert Menendez, Democratic Party, and the senior member of the committee, Senator Bob Corker, Republican Party, let's say presented in the Congress of the United States, the bill on supporting the freedom of Ukraine, which makes provision for further expansion of sanctions against Russia and increasing the assistance given and rendered to our country, including the weapons of lethal nature. The Committee Minister of the Council of Europe also called the EF to take away the
Yesterday, Prime Minister Arseniy Yatsenyuk said or messaged the army and the police to be ready for the next movement in ATO, in east of Ukraine. What this mean?
Thank you for question.
You see, Ukrainian military men and all law enforcement bodies that participate in ATO operations, they are ready to act. Now they comply with the order as to ceasefire, and they start firing only to kick back those who attack them. If there is an order to start any movement or to regroup, or to start any operation or to change positions, Ukrainian military men are ready for that. At the moment, they receive additional equipment, ammunition, and new units are coming after the third wave of mobilization. So Ukrainian military men in the state of readiness to anything. Two questions I have. Deutsche Welle, from its sources, informs that on the territory which is under control of the government, they started to establish anti-aircraft systems and anti-aircraft facilities to develop those capabilities. The second question: who will decide on borders of the territory which will receive a special status in the east of Ukraine? Thank you for your questions. As to anti-aircraft system Panzer, we have operational information. We don't know how many systems are there and where they are. That information must be confirmed. So far, we don't confirm that there is such a system there. As to borders, the law of Ukraine says that territories which are temporary under control of gunmen, but that's how it is mentioned, but we don't speak about borders of those districts. So there will be there is no demarcation. It doesn't speak about demarcation or anything else. We have a ceasefire so far, and we hope that will succeed. First of all, to liberate all our hostages using this ceasefire, and every day we are working on that. Secondly, it's also an opportunity to improve our capabilities and to pull up additional units, etc. And everything which will happen afterwards, we cannot predict, but we are ready to any development. Timchuk on his Facebook writes so that to airports that are closer to our border, they pull up planes and then they plan to deliver those planes in Donetsk. In airports that are along the border with between Ukraine and Russia, there were already planes, aircrafts, and we remember that approximately a month ago they had a big training, and the training involved helicopters and aircrafts. They are still there. They were there, and they are still there. As to redislocation, for example, to Donetsk airport, Donetsk airport is not equipped to receive aircrafts now. To continue this question, can Novorossiya, so-called Novorossiya, can they get those aircrafts? Could they use them from some other airports? Is it possible? I'm not ready to answer how ready they are to receive aircrafts. That requires a special status, special activity for that for a country. If they receive aircrafts, they need to maintain it, not just to land it on airports and special airports. That you have to also maintain aircrafts. Sports, airports that are used for sports planes, they are not good for that.
In English, please. I would like to understand why, in your opinion, even after the approval of the law on autonomy, the ceasefire is not being respected and maybe even worsening the situation on the ground. And secondly, if you think that separatists have decided to take some key infrastructures like the Donetsk airport before respecting the ceasefire.
Thank you for your
I would like to tell you that there is a briefing of the National Defense and Security Committee. It's not DNR, it's our briefing, and I'm not responsible for them. I cannot answer why they have such a reaction.
Alexander Zakharchenko said from 2 days that always the Ukrainian army start shooting against the separatists. What you can say about this?
Thank you for question.
Дуже дякую. You see, if they shall, Ukrainian military units that are on checkpoints and that, of course, they respond. They don't attack, they just defend their positions. If there's a threat to life of our Ukrainian military men and also to civilians that are close, then Ukrainian military men, as defenders of the territory of our country, they are obliged to respond with fire. And that is quite normal. That's why they should not complain that we shoot at them. If there is no question, thank you very much. And the decision whether we'll have one more briefing, we will